When most people think of a badminton lift, they just presume that it is a simple shot where you lift the shuttlecock up to the back of the court and they don't put much thought into it. The same with a badminton clear. However, there are a lot of different variations to these shots that can tactically make such a big difference, in both singles and doubles. There is a reason why you will always see professional players consistently practicing these shots to perfect them. Just a quick reminder to click the subscribe button and like the video. Thank you. A badminton lift and a clear can have many different purposes depending on the situation. For example, a very high badminton lift or clear is really effective when you're out of position and need to buy time for yourself to prepare for the next shot. Obviously, the higher the lift is, the longer you will have before the shuttlecock comes back to your side. For example, Anders Rasmussen in this clip is completely out of position. The goal of his shot here is to lift the shuttle as high as he can onto the back of their court to buy himself as much time to prepare for the next shot. Not only is it important to buy you time, but especially in singles, if you attempt to play a lift which isn't that high, there is a chance that your opponent will be able to jump and intercept the shot from standing in the middle of the court. Viktor Axelsen does this so well because of how tall he is. However, a high lift would not allow him to perform the interception and therefore force him to move behind the shuttlecock at the back of the court to play the shot. Another advantage of hitting a lift or clear as high as possible is that it makes it much harder for your opponent to put as much power into their smash. This is because of the angle that the shuttlecock is coming down at. A high lift means the shuttlecock is almost coming down vertically without much of an angle. This means you have to generate all of the power yourself. However, when the lift is more flat, it comes more directly at you with more pace. This means it's much easier to get more power on the smash because you are using the speed of the shuttlecock from your opponent's shot as well as the power you're generating yourself. This can honestly make such a big difference. We also see this in women's singles with their serve. When you watch some players serve, the shot will be a lift which will be aimed as high as possible to drop down straight on the back line. And this is for the same reasons which I just mentioned. It makes it much harder for their opponents to play a fast attacking smash. So apart from a high lift, what other types of lifts and clears can you do? A lift that is not as high can be very effective at moving your opponents around the court faster and causing them to play a shot where they might not be in position to play it from. If you look at this rally from Viktor Axelsen against Chen Long, you can see that Chen Long is playing a smash from around the head in the right corner. There is a good amount of space for Viktor Axelsen to play the return shot into. Viktor Axelsen sees this opportunity and plays the lift at a lower height into the left corner. The lift is almost like a push and was really effective in this situation at getting Chen Long out of position because the shot is much faster than a traditional high lift as it is in the air for less time. Viktor Axelsen then goes on to win the point from it. In doubles, it's also commonly used in the same scenario as I just mentioned, where you can flick a mid-court lift to the opposite corner to get your opponents out of position. But also a lift with less height means it's harder for your opponents to get a great angle on their smash. One of the most effective things to do in doubles is to crouch down and play a flat or defensive shot with your racket up. Therefore, by playing a lift which doesn't have much height, it's much easier to crouch down and play this shot, since you know your opponents will unlikely be able to play a smash with a great angle, especially if they are out of position. This is a really good way of turning your defense into an attack. As well as that, a lift which isn't that high will mean your opponent will have less time to play it. If it's on their backhand side, they will have less time to go around the head and play a forehand shot. You would always prefer your opponents to play a backhand rather than going around the head onto their forehand. The last type of clear I want to mention is the punch clear. This is where you almost wait to play the clear until the last second. You want the clear to be fast without too much height, but enough height to not allow your opponent to intercept it. The idea of this shot is to catch your opponent by surprise and force them onto their back foot and out of position. By waiting to the last second, it can make it look like you were going to play a drop shot, which could also make your opponent start to step forward. This can be really effective and is a great shot to play in the right situation. These are the main different types of lifts and clears that you can play in badminton. Thank you for watching and have an awesome day.